try to go for nuke and see if we can just work around that instead. So curious, but regardless, Device has been
2 sets of dualies.
Hey, always nice to see. You guys don't know this, but Michael is also doing finger guns with the dualies. So
that's just you've just lied straight to everybody.
Yeah, but they don't know it.
Well, Hamp has dropped those ones over. Of course, he has the 1 flash, those 2 dualies, 300 a pop, and Device, dualies or not. Hey, there's that USP being so sharp as they do try to take out side control. This is really falling flat here on the side of Fiend. They need to get kills right back, and Harn is doing his best effort. Now a 1-on-2, but that bomb, he had it on his back. Device is just there to cut them down.
Speaking of 300 a pop, that's exactly what Device gets for all 4 of those kills. A grand total of $1,200 and a whole lot of confidence going into this one. Welcome to land, baby.
They were trying to sneak their way outside. They were trying to be tricky about it, and Device just found this perfect timing. I mean, Red Star was there for the fight, but Bubble had no idea he'd swing further.
Yeah, I just can't react to that either. Just the quick taps with the USB. They're so silent as well. And with comms going on and whatnot, micromanaging probably from on some level or the other when you're trying to coordinate those 2 prongs of the attack outside. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Hampus, meanwhile, tied down to 12. Probably doesn't want to stick around for too long. Or, for that matter, keep that M4A1 on his own self.
Oh, Device just looks so confident.
He's ready.
Yep.
I love this. This is going to be so much fun. Bubble, though, and company, they're just hoping to be able to get the quick bomb plant down if they can, and a few kills later on. An argument to be made for the dualies or the P250, but of course the P250's got the range advantage, and Plopsky's got the jump advantage. Harn's got 1 in response, and that's good for them to find, but Dreamer has to come up big. And as Device turns the corner, is Dreamer to meet him, says goodbye, and a scout's recovered. Now, Hampus and Rez can't really make their way back onto the bomb, and a smoke on Decon is going to be perfectly placed as well. Rez can do nothing, Nip. He can look good with the pistols, but when you get Deke down, ain't nothing you can do about it.
Oh, that's the perfect play there from Dreamer. The first headshot and then the immediate snap reaction on the player up close. Who, yeah, only had a scout, so really the threat wasn't too high. Man, you couldn't have asked for more. Fiend took so much damage in the early stages, so did Nip, and that comes back to bite the CT side, where they had that heavier investment. Those 2 kills seal this round in for Fiend. Hey, man, it's every game we've had so far. Every best of 1 we've had today. The pistol round 1, and then the team that loses that round wins a second. So
we had 1 where I think Charlotte's second round, but generally that has been the team, yes. Charlotte's second round, they got it down and dirty. But as we do have a pause, Michael, something I actually forgot to bring up, I even had it in my notes, is that a very fun storyline for me is the fact that this is Dreamer's first Valve-associated event. Because obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, Dreamer is one of the most infamous cases where, because of a VAC ban at an early age, he hadn't been able to participate in the Valve circuit. And because of Valve's recent ruling, which came about, I'd like to say towards the end of last year or the beginning of this one, this will be Dreamer's first Valve-associated event that he's been able to play at. So I'm sure for him, it's just a dream come true, and he's so ready to perform over here at this stage.
Yeah, that was in April of this year.
Yeah.
The RMR eligibility guidelines that Valve released. Yeah, I'd actually almost forgotten about that, in all fairness. Dreamer...
It's easy to let it go by because, obviously a lot of those players ended up jumping ship, but Dreamer stuck around.
Yeah, and still, that's the big thing, is that the fact that these players did kind of keep grinding away at it, even if it wasn't at Valve-sanctioned events. And now they've been given the green light.
Green light indeed.
Well, I don't know... Well, I'm not going to pretend like I heard much of that. But yeah, it's something that we can kind of touch in on as well, especially as we see Fiend develop within this group. Hopefully, things have reached a bit of stability. Again, don't know if this is TeamSpeak issues or what, but could very well be the case. NIP going to be reeling after the damage that's done in that second round. Of course, the worst place you could find yourself in as a result of the economy changes that happened a long, long time ago. I feel like I can't say economy changes. This is just the way we are. Oh man, I want to see what Fiend can bring to the table, because I think, especially with them starting on this T side, I have questions about whether they're going to have the strategic layers that are necessary to deal with some of the NIP adaptations. Sure, they're able to breach into that second round as a result of the pistols and some open territory gained over towards ramp, but we need to see the level of play that we expect from the tier 1. You know, the leaning wall of smokes is one, and just the multiple different ways of approaching outside control is going to be a big issue, especially if a device is going to continue his good stead. It feels like he's already woken up on the right side of bed.
Yeah. I'm also a little bit curious to see. I know this is obviously nowhere near as substantial as what we had going back towards, I would say, Dust 2 earlier on. But I'm also very curious to see whether the tendency to double nade through rooftops and whatnot is going to increase as well. There's a few that you can go for, but in nuke, flashes are just so damn useful, especially early into the round as well. You don't see it as often on the T side, but it would be interesting.
I think what's likely is that we will see, again, the same sort of things we saw on Dust 2 with the grenade changes, especially with outside Molotovs sometimes being used by CT sides to disrupt the wall of smokes. You could very easily see the AWPer being in positions to throw that utility and then just play from CT spawn. You know, go back, retrieve an HE or another flash or something of the sort. I feel like I'm getting... I want to see more crazy utility things just because of the game we just had with OG. But I don't know that we're going to always get that. It seems very map dependent, as most people would have anticipated, especially when we start having a conversation about stacking smokes on small sites. Elish has a good video about his initial impressions. We'll see if that has too much play. Of course, Fiend winning that last round. They disrupt the flow of things, as NIP did take the pistol rather handily, piggybacking off of the 4K from device. And we're finally out of the tech pause. So, we'll... Oh, never mind. It seems like we're going back into the tech pause.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, it's just... a
little stop-start.
As you would say, it really do be like that sometimes.
It do.
But of course, you know, even looking over towards the NIP side, Michael, I'm sure that for a lot of these players, being able to play at Stockholm at the major is just so incredibly important. We know how important it is for the organization, but for these players as well, if you miss out on something like that, you might not ever get a chance like that in your career again. You know, major locations don't come back. We already know that it's likely that, you know, again, I say we know, but it is likely from prior announcements that came months and months ago, and there could be new information that ESL and their idea for Rio majors might still be up for conversation later on as well and whatnot too. So always that to consider. We are going to go to a bit of a break though right now, guys, and when we're back, hopefully the match will be resumed, and we'll see you then.
forgetting who I was, or have to look back that far. And I don't want to forget who, get who. And are you just fucking around in my mind one last time? I'm gonna be real honest this time. I'm okay with it, I am more than fine. I'm gonna roll all less red dice now. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I trap me inside your walls now. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I won't get out. Crush me with all that you are now. Tell me I won't get out. So tell me I won't get out.
We were caught in the fire. Our faith was left out in the open. Saw the fear in your eyes as we move through the dust. Nights turn into days, one by another. Under darkened skies, we await, bound to each other. But our spirits never die. Fighting as we push through the darkest times. I'll be there by your side. We arise when everything's breaking. Our souls will awaken. Our spirits never die. At the end of the line, the trust in our hearts beating louder. Under darkened skies, we await, bound to each other. But our spirits never die. Fighting as we push through the darkest times. I'll be there by your side. We arise when everything's breaking. Our souls will awaken. Our spirits never die.
Yeah, they done told me to be myself. So when I went and found myself, the ones who told me back then, be true to who I am, ain't think we was really gonna win. Now they watching us from the sidelines while we drowning victories like we getting high tides. I'm getting my prize, only thing my eyes is locked in on. Half a million mine. I want it right now, don't waste my time. Family in a penthouse with a view sky high. Blood, sweat, and tears bring water to my eyes. Cause the whole gang winning, I done gave my life. Odds low, but we did it.
Mm-hmm. Well, they start out with a pistol, and then, yeah, that force buy is really what shook things up. Ooh. You can see Hampus waiting for the right time to investigate outside as well, especially with that bomb being there. LNZ finding the timing, and so does Hampus. This is really falling apart now for Fiend. This outside control hasn't worked out. They're getting collapsed upon. They're getting shot from all sides. And sure, it's a 1-on-3 for Dreamer, who is full HP, but he's been so detached from the action. NIP look like they're going to be able to upset the round again. Yeah, you can see Hampus, that timing outside was a massive issue there for Fiend, as they wanted to, again, kind of sneak their way towards outside, get a lot of early control, especially when they were up against those pistols, but then they just get caught out by some of these positions in from these digs. Only for Hampus to tie the bow on top. See now if Fiend can keep the trend going. It seems like nobody can get 2 rounds back-to-back. And right now, again, Fiend sneaking their way outside. Not going to have sightlines here on the side of NIP, but Device may hear a step or two as they go towards lower. Hampus is already there to meet them should they show their face. See Rez now moving into the action as well. This is all going to come down to the timing of this. If Rez decides to swing into this, this will be a dangerous affair. And they've lined up utility. Flash in. Rez, they don't clear him in the vent, so it's an easy first kill, but there's the trade. Fiend can get themselves into the site, but Hampus still such a thorn in their side. But that's where the Deagle comes through. Fiend have a man advantage, a path into this B bomb site, with LNZ being the only deterrent. Oh, they don't clear him. They don't anticipate that LNZ is here, and they've actually dialed the bomb the other direction. Over towards the A side, they'll go. Red Star can get this planted. Now they can set up into decent post plants. NIP, I don't think, are too wise to the fact just yet. Device still trying to get some space, create an opportunity in the back lines. Dreamer's already holding for it. Fiend are not exactly in the best of positions. Device is so patient. Oh, LNZ, first kill found, Dreamer down, and this is the low HP now coming to a big factor. NIP cannot swing effectively. LNZ doesn't even need a teammate. Swings in, digs him down, and gets on the defuse. Finally, some stability being hit by one of these teams, even on the 22 HP of pop for the NIP players. LNZ just continuously showing and exposing his head over at the heavens. Fiend just couldn't get a handle on it.
For a second there, it looked like we're going to have this successive back-to-back trading of rounds, which never favors the CTs. But yeah, LNZ, a player who you ask a lot of questions from these days, Michael.
Yeah.
But he's able to get it done regardless. And for him, this is the biggest testing period that you can possibly have right now. NIP desperately needing to get to the major, and so much of their hopes are going to be on banking on him as well at the same time. to make sure that, you know, there's no sore thumb sticking out. There's no one who can be exploited by these teams. Well, maybe a bit more underdogs, but Device has found one in the meanwhile. He has been fantastic so far. And this round, he's hoping to get yet another multi-kill.
Well, player's not quite ready for him, and now they realize where that AWP is posted. Rez will help in support. Nade sails in. And this time the Eagles aren't doing too much damage here on the side of Fiend, just getting picked apart. And it's a nice and clean round here for NIP. Finally looks like a stride could be hit. Fiend, of course, now can get into full rifle territory. We're 5 rounds in. This is the first time we're properly seeing a gun round versus gun round.
Fiend currently still yet to have bubble frag. Red Star not had too many chances either. Red Star's just been blocked out by Device so many times as well. I can't really even necessarily blame him for that one. Device has just been continually on point in outside control, and Red Star just happens to be the victim of that particular prowess. Device now, though, he's gone inside, Michael. Wants to show he can do more than one. And right now, he's hoping to find out one as he starts to creep forward. Can't go too far in, otherwise the rifle barrel will show, and Device is just holding this tighter angle. It's loud though, and you know he's hitting those every day of the week. Now peeks out again, knows there's another man coming through. A grenade as well, so Harn has to back off. Device tagged up through the hot wall. But it's Harn who's down to 3.
Oh, good entry over towards ramp, though. There's an opportunity now for Fiend to quickly collapse on this B bomb site. Look at these heavy rotations. They've already got Device in position. He's so mobile.
Oh, Hampus. Not matter. Molotov neither. So Hampus is down. Dreamer to find Device, though. That's bubble over and out.
This bomb dropped as well. So at some point or another, Dreamer's going to have to go and recover that one.
And right now, Dreamer's just hoping someone walks into him. That mistake is not going to be made. Nip are content with defending that bomb. Flash picked up, but it's from a corpse, not quite tossed over. Plopsky waits around the corner, and it's Rez who hears them moving back. They've given the bomb up, but I feel like this might not be for free. Rez has managed to cheat past that utility, but isn't looking to speed up too much. Instead, it's going to be a rotation to come through from Device, it seems like, and it's going to have a quick sightline out, make sure everything's cleared out, but they're planting at the back of the bomb site. Popsy peeked out. Harn just shut him down immediately. Device now circling around the corner. Adjustment is there. He's so damn quick as well. AWP Device. I'm never going to doubt this man on land. And that is exactly why.
He looks untouchable. Goes for aggro peaks hut. Gets to lower B faster than Fiend can react and pounce on the bomb site. They dial it back A, and sure, he needs a teammate to sort of help clear out and get that information, but he is so quick on these adjustments.
Dude, that shot on the Harn as well, that's just nuts.
It just looks so clean.
Yeah, this is very much... It's just this combination of classic Device where we obviously dedicate him to being able to find those clean angles time and time again, and then you put in a bit of this mixture hybrid NIP flavor where he's able to dominate these close range duels when he's aggressing back onto a bomb site too. It is very much what you want to see.
Yeah, I feel like peak Device is seeing a little bit of activation. If anybody can stop this man.
What a game to do it as well. Hampus now starts to peek out. Initially, he's only good for one, but the information he gets is fantastic. 2 more players located, and Rez is here to stop them from really breaking too much ground. Dreamer and Bubble over and upper, who are hopeful of cutting a man off, and that man would be Plopsky, who's heard them coming through. 4 players coming in. Plopsky needed to isolate, but he was waiting for a support. Rez only good for 1, though. Victor, do quick on the trade. Grenade won't be doing too much either. LNZ might have waited too long, but his Device, he's coming in. The big, bad wolf. Nothing you can do to get away from him. He's going to blow your house down pretty soon, and LNZ's here to help him as well. Bubble trying to play around the smoke. Device is caught. A one-on-one to give them a chance. But LNZ's around the corner. And so is Bubble.
Bring around
He's
the
running
Rosie.
all over the place. There's nothing he can do. LNZ being read into like a book. But even then, Bubble still will fall. And LNZ has the time to get the defuse and recover Devices off.
Oh, he tried so hard not to give him the chance for the fight, just constantly running around that bomb site. LNC trailing behind him. Come on, fight me, please. But if not for the fact the Device comes in from behind like that, that extra space isn't there. You can see the attention that Device commands as a result of this hot start that he's got off to, threatening the backlines with the AWP. Oh man, Fiend, that felt like a round that was right in the palm of their hand. But that's what happens if
and company call the timeout.
Yeah, it's just one of those spots where if you give Device too much attention, I mean, there's those other threats we talk about, and yeah, LNZ is the person that is often put under the microscope as, is he ready? Is there enough time for him to be incorporated, and can he put up some of these numbers? Because at times that is sometimes a liability for the Ninjas, but certainly not the case now. At the moment, it feels like NIP are very in tune with how they want to move around the map.
Seems to be creeping. Yeah, so much noise as well. They made all in the meanwhile because of the utility. Hampus might not have been noticed. Device is ready for this. He's dropped the bomb. He knows there's going to be a second chance and he's going to go for it. You betcha he is. Peeks out. Grenades there. He doesn't care. Peek me.
They're holding for these as well. They're holding for exactly this type of aggression, and they're still getting owned by it.
Look at that guy's face. Just, even in the picture, Device is just begging you to peek him. Just try me. I dare you. And in Tom Cruise's voice, of course. Omsky. Been quite tricky with this, but now, I mean, if Fiend want to go back and recover some utility they've dropped or something, maybe that's something. But beyond that, you've got 3 flashes. A Molotov for Hut would be nice, but you've not really got too much to work off of it.
Yeah, A-burst, that's all they've really got planned.
Yeah, and that's going to be a molly to meet them. In the meanwhile, they're trying to go back down the vents. A lot of damage has been dealt to Victor. Rez is making sure that the 2 remaining terrorists can't actually move back down under to the B bomb site. And Device is already there. He was on ramp earlier on, but you've got to be terrified right now. He's been crouch peeked into, might not realize the player has moved over. And this is where an option's open, but Device is ready. He's got him down as well. Dreamer all alone can get the bomb planted, but who cares? He's got 10 HP. This is going to be the clutch of his career if he can pull this off. A smoke out over as well. Hampus can move into that if he'd like to. Device right behind him. A flash to assist if that is going to be in the cards. But Dreamer is using the smoke to his own advantage. That advantage is gone. It's gone.
Yeah, they set up some utility, they clear the bomb site and say, hey, we threw this smoke, so process of elimination, where could he be? Hut or here? And they just spam him down. Thought that was going to be the drop that he needed to bring things back into his favor. But in spite of all that aggression, you know, that burst that they tried to pull onto A, those first 2 players get themselves down the vent. Sure, fine. You know, they're creating some room. They might get the bomb planted, but the bomb was never with them. It was detached from the action. It couldn't make that transition to the lower site the same way those first 2 players did. And so you ended up in this spot where, yeah, Dreamer is left all alone. And, man, right now it just feels like this is Device's world and we're just living in it.
We're dying in it, more like it, Michael.
Only if you're Fiend.
Oh, Hampus peeks out. Victor and company are ready for it. That's a double peek that they were hoping to use to exploit the lonely box, but Device is... Oh, actually, that's the only shot he's missed, seemingly. The knife under the glass. Flashbang. Oh my god, are you kidding me? He's getting so aggressive information as well. In the meanwhile, he's just ready. God, dude, this is what I miss about LAN.
Yeah, he's the monster you want to avoid right now.
Just run away wherever you can, and Rez has been the destination for the T side. Found out, brought down. Now, in the 3-on-5, the CT economy isn't the best in the world, so the retake might not be in the cards for them, even if Device does look untouchable. He'd rather no one touches AWP potential moving into the future few rounds. Honestly, if I'm Device at this point, and I know, you know, he's obviously a very unselfish player inside the game, especially, so he probably wouldn't do this. But if my teammates ask me for a drop in the next round, I'm just giving them MP9. You don't get an M4 from me. I want to be able to buy the op in case we lose more rounds.
That's cold.
He's a stone cold killer, Mike.
No, maybe you add a little, you know, you make him sign the contract. Yes, I will give you this MP9 and you will drop me more ops in the future.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to be nice about Michael. I'm going to be hip and trendy. I'll give him a smoke too. Maybe a flash from me to peek with.
Here, take it. Yeah, but this is actually a round in which Fiend are able to bypass that fast rotation that Device has been going for between the two bomb sites. As soon as that lower side is threatened, that's where Fiend dial it back in towards A instead. It does feel like that has to be a part of this T-side operation. Just make sure that Device isn't there to deal with your nonsense. Let's see if it works once more. They use the wall of smokes to threaten that lower side, and you can see Device isn't going to get too much action as a result of this.
Oh, intercepts Victor. Victor's gone. He didn't check the angle despite Device having been there many times. Oh,
what?
Device has got two. Oh my goodness. Hampus, meanwhile, catches out another double. Dreamer had given the call that it was clear, but Hampus was in an off angle that Dreamer just wasn't ready for. And again, it's Dreamer against the world. I'm sorry, this has to be how you start your journey with Valve, Dreamer. I really am. But it is Nip's playground.
Just another round that they're getting bodied in as well. I mean, Device finding this opportunity where Victor, yeah, doesn't clear him and then just catches a glimpse outside. Doesn't even spot him. I don't even know. That might have just been one of those Hail Mary, fire off a shot and rotate type of maneuvers, but it hits nonetheless.
Listen, Michael, he's not saying Hail Mary. Mary's begging him to hail her. The way he's going right now.
I feel like I'm watching an episode of The Mask. Somebody please stop him.
You can't say that without doing the voice, Michael.
Well, I mean, it's somebody stop me, you know? And I'm not going to pretend to be Device. I wouldn't put myself in his shoes.
Listen, Michael, everyone likes to think about it sometimes when you're going to sleep at night. Be like, Mom, Dad, can I be Device when I grow up? Probably not. Probably not.
And this is the thing, right? Like, a part of the criticism about the Device move was that he was very much like your star, tried and true, best systems AWPer that anyone could ask for. And now we're getting to see, again, I think it still feels like a part of the system, but this heavy rotation, these big rotations that Device is making, he's in the right spot to always meet Fiend where they're going. So, right now, I am not pulling anything into question. And, you know, we miss it this time, but there's another kill for Device. It feels like an inevitability.
Yeah, somebody just give me a Device cam, really.
Well, we might be focused a lot on this star AWPer. He is 19-3, so I feel like the focus is justified.
Oh my god, hit the shot! He'll go down at the end of it all, but Bubbles the trade on the other side, although not before he can take down LNZ. The grenade is good, and Red Star's hoping that they don't have any more of those, because he is wildly weak. The B-bomb site's taken over, and the Molotovs will buy them enough time to be able to get onto the bomb site. Planting might be a bit much to ask for, but the flash does at least guarantee it. Flopsky's hoping to isolate out Victor initially, but him and Hampus peek out in, and it's a quick one-for-one trade. Flopsky goes on, and it's only Dreamer left. Rez trying to peek out. Dreamer's been in these clutches so many times, but just not a chance to win them. Now, might be different. Flash won't matter, will not go through. Plopsky is peeking out, will be peeking forward soon, but not revealing his position yet. Plopsky is down, Dreamer in a one-on-one. Rez to play against. A flash is there, and he wants to peek out. Rez on the other side gets the kill.
Can he get
but there won't be enough time. Just gonna be close to it, and Rez, right at the nick of it all,
he's got it.
he'll get it done.
Oh, it's so close. Dreamer almost buys enough time for that defuse. He had to be so close. He had to run at Dreamer. And even still, he's been able to make the trek back. It's these, sometimes it is these small margins We've seen NIP in 2vXs where players are low HP and they've still finangled their way out of that bad situation. And now when it comes to this 2-on-1 where Dreamer gets the firm drop on the first player, it's still not enough.
Seems like nothing would be. That's the problem, isn't it? Hampus, meanwhile, he's in hot pursuit. Bubble might think, oh yeah, I'm sneaky, I'm down, I'm under, but Hampus knows what's going on. Even so, Hampus is hoping to cut off the players coming late. He expected to come through from outside, perhaps, but Device is now gone as well. Suddenly, it's all gone and fallen apart.
I think that's the first real miss we've seen there from Device, especially when there's so many players to pick from. Shoots between them, and now Fiend a very convincing start to this round and the finish as well, because NIP aren't going to contest for it.
Yeah, I'd rather just say the AWP. Makes sense as well. You've not had the most solid streak of players being kept alive continually.
And it's not like these rounds haven't been close. We have seen quite a few rounds that have come to 2 or 3 players surviving for NIP, so money hasn't been a massive blessing on the CT side, even with the heavy run that they've been able to accomplish. Now all it takes is a couple back-to-back here for Fiend to potentially bounce back in this half.
Possibilities are open, but they will very much only be realized if they can win this round. This is going to be the important one moving forward. If you can get this one, yeah, absolutely. A 9-6 is a big opportunity that you can capitalize upon. I am very curious about what the call was there from Nip in the previous round, though. I have to guess that it would be some sort of, hey, they're probably going outside into secret because Hampus looked like he wanted to cut them off again, get that same double that he did earlier on. And now, again, over the ramp they go quickly. Device has got one attack on the Victor as well. Drops straight down. He's got backup coming through. They know they need to protect him, and Ellen is good for one. Peeks back out into a closer angle and drops the bomb as well. Red Star just not ready for it, and neither was Victor. Bubble. Last casualty and 10th secured for Nip, where we were talking about possibilities of breaking their money being open. That was the biggest money round they've had so far.
This man has more than double the ADR of anyone on the Fiend camp. 20 kills and 5. NIP really just riding the high. And once again, it's these faster plays that it feels like Fiend are settling on in a few of these rounds. You know, the times that they've slowed down, it feels like they've bled out too much utility, and it's kind of a one last hurrah for what is to be their T-side plan. They couldn't get across. They couldn't get those 2 rounds back-to-back. That would have really shook up the NIP economy. And I don't think we're getting to see if those layers are there for Fiend. We've seen them maybe move back between the A and the B bomb site a couple of times, but the strats haven't been all aplenty. Now Smoke's being dodged and blocked as a result of Hampus's positioning. But there's no presence there from Fiend alongside it, so they've still got Hampus in a position where he can clear outside and potentially threaten a flank. They're just setting up. Oh no!
Hard
spray to transfer.
Yeah. So you're not in the worst of situations. The problem is the Device is actually getting aggressive on outside. So going back outside is basically impossible. You only have 2 smokes to do it, and that just doesn't seem like enough to be able to get the full cross across from red as well, which is where Device is keeping an eye out over now. So Fiend have 2 options, ramp or an A hit.
Yeah, and they may try and fake this A hit and threaten ramp instead, but the jig is kind of up, the fact that they have no outside pressure.
And Device is even rotating back towards that ramp reinforcement, so he's going to be here in a very good time for a lobby crunch as well if need be. Rez is hoping to catch them off. There's no one flashing out Hunt. Rez has got 2 and almost 3. Harn's going to be a casualty for Device as he's come right back to heaven. Dreamer is quick with a shot, but only 1 to be found. Plovsky trying to trail back, but the Op's going to be out of recovery possibilities. Even so, Nip's up to 11.
Yeah, Fiend just felt like they got pigeonholed as a result of that early aggression there from Hampus. Sure, maybe he's able to get more than just that one kill if he's able to target prioritize. You know, Harn was there to make sure that things didn't get out of control as he did set up for that flank. But after that, the fact that there's no presence outside, NIP knew exactly what was coming. It was going to be some sort of an A-sided play or a drop into ramp, and they were in both positions aptly. So now pressure outside once again. Hampus pushing alongside his teammates, taking the brunt of the damage, but they can kind of leave him here. You can see Device acting and holding the line at a distance, but don't want to peek the AWP too many times.
Oh, that's exactly what Victor does, Michael.
Yeah, 3-on-5 for this last round of the half. NIP, the CT side has looked so solid.
It absolutely has, and they've gone by relatively untested as well overall. And it's not just a scoreline that suggests it. Just the fact that Fiend has as few kills as they do as well. There's no one player who's sort of standing out and saying, "Oh, hey, you know, I'm having a really solid performance." Meaning that NIP has also disabled any chances of a star performance at all. You know, even in OG and Sprout, we saw Falvin was having a really good time. And there's no one like that from Fiend over here. And Hampus is coming in from behind. Line them up. It's going to be 12. NIP have dominated the first half, and we don't know what they'll do for the second. But I've got a guess. However, I have to wait for a break to find out whether it's true or not.
In the dark, stone cold, sinking deeper. We are here. We keep holding on, dusk till dawn. When the water rises, when the world burns down, we will stand together. We fight forever. We fight forever. We fight forever. Standing together. We fight forever. Face the storm coming. Ground is shaking. Deep down inside, calling. Voices in the distance. We are here.
And we're back into things. It's NIP and Fiend, hoping that Well, Nip's hoping that they can continue what they already had. Fiend is hoping that they can maybe bring out a couple of pistol rounds, a couple of gun rounds immediately after that as well to see where they can go with it. We're going to have to wait to find out how exactly things materialize and shape up as time moves into it. Nip, of course, have had Device looking absolutely fantastic so far. He's come through in basically every single round. And that's what they're going to need if they are to perform in the rest of this tournament as well. Hampus has crept through the A bomb site. It's completely occupied. They can even plant devices around in the corner, but Bubbles adjusted for him in time. Now, bomb's going to be planted. They've got a smoke down for many. This is perfect play coming out from them so far. LNZ and company just hoping to keep an eye out. Rez has been boosted up as well. Will not be expected. He's going to be able to force anyone coming up the ladder room back. So control over heaven and hell is completely forfeit to Rez. So they have to circumnavigate and go back through Mini instead. Victor now peeks out into the open. Hampus has catched him off. And now he's even pushed out that door. Straight back to it. Bubble, good for one, but it's still 3v2. LNZ hoping to quickly peek out. Bubble still been. Oh my god, that fadeaway shot's insane. He's got 3 kills, but he's just not able to get the defuse in time. Bubble demolishes them, but unfortunately, still just not enough. Nip will find the 13.
So difficult.
Yeah, just fantastic stuff overall from NIP. The fact that they're able to creep in as well, like that fully silent, is just hilarious. So it's just, you imagine Nip and, or rather, Fiend is so tense, but now Fiend's even more tense. Bubble's got an M4, but it's been brought down immediately. It was sticking out of the smoke. And Hampus just makes quick work of it.
Oh man, just as he's running out towards the red container, you see that flurry of utility that's sailing his way. Didn't quite realize what he'd bargained for. Hey, don't worry, guys. I'll clear outside. We'll have some space to work off of. No. I could get himself into the bomb site, but there's a whole lot of angry Nip players around the corner. Double doors is a no-go.
Hampus meanwhile all lining up, but won't quite be able to find anyone. For a second there, because the extra, I got afraid that his teammate's going to end up getting tagged out, but no, not quite. Okay, Red Star. Meanwhile, now that Harn has gone down, Harn rather is going to be going for more. Harn found 3. The quick adjustment for the third is big, and the grenade down makes it easier, but it didn't go far enough or pop soon enough. Plopsky will be able to finish him off, and it's back to a 2v2.
Dangerous waters. They know that that bomb's dropped in towards the control room, so Fiend are gonna at least keep some eyes on it, but unsure whether both players are in this position.
Bomb's been recovered as well. Plopsky's got an upgrade on the firepower. 25 seconds and Dreamer spotted them moving back. Now Victor is trying to come around the corner. Great shot, and that drops the bomb. Plopsky needs to aggress. He's good for 1, but with 18 seconds, there's no way he gets back onto the other bomb site. Dreamer is so low. This Molotov could be incredibly deadly, but Plopsky doesn't realize Dreamer is going to be waiting around the corner. And as he starts to plant the bomb, he knows he's got to be careful. He might have barely spotted him out. Dreamer's pushing through. The bomb's been planted,
he doesn't see him.
gone to the side. Dreamer doesn't realize where it's being planted quite exactly. And Plopsky, in the meanwhile, is just waiting for him to peek through. Plopsky is going to be able to move back to Decon. And Dreamer's playing on top of it. So if he wants to drop down, it's not going to work for him. And Dreamer doesn't know where he's gone yet. Dreamer will drop. Dreamer will proceed forward. Plopsky's heard it. Dreamer's peeking out. And Plopsky's got it done.
Oh, I can't believe that that's how that plays out. They're walking in parallel to each other, just on different elevations, and just never getting sightlines on one another. That is exactly how you want things to go if you're Plopsky. Just constantly moving back into safer angles, and yeah, it's almost an impossible round to win there if you're Dreamer, because he could have relocated anywhere. That was the big misstep. That peek that Victor tries to go for to finish off the round actually opens the door wide open for that for Plopsky.
And then that so many opportunities for him, but every single timing was just perfect from Plopsky. And Nip will continue to look, well, undefeatable, if I'm being honest.
Even in these close rounds, you know that NIP aren't out of it. Well, a mishmash of buys there for Fiend in the round prior, and it's once again going to be the same story. A whole lot of MP9s. We'll have a few more weapons alongside it in the FAMAS and Scout, but NIP slow working this B side of the map where Fiend have no presence. They're not rotating these players in quickly. I don't think they quite realized that this was a massive vulnerability. Hampus already has this drop in the vents covered, so Bubble's a free frag.
Now Hampus can just flurry on right back, say Fiend, come. And of course Victor's going to oblige him over here, but Victor's found Hampus. This time comes out on top, but not without losing most of his HP, so problems will still be there. Dreamer peeks out, misses his chance, and LNZ will punish like none other. Between Victor and Harn, and neither one of them look like they're in positions where they can run off. Maybe Harn can salvage the farmers, but Victor, man. For him to have this one passageway back up to salvation of the weapon, but not the game, the way things are going.
Yeah, seems like we may be accelerating to a nice early nip win in the group. Fiend have just looked out of this map in a whole load of these rounds, even when they have gotten close, in the same way that I think coming away from that Sprout OG game, we were kind of talking about how some of the rounds were quite close, but OG always got the drop and always seemed to be in these better positions to trade things out. Outside of maybe one or two instances where NIP have really shown that brilliance in the clutch, a lot of the story, especially coming away from that first half, is very similar. NIP were in great positions to facilitate bringing 2 or 3 weapons into the following round, even if things got a little dicey.
And it really does seem like the end is there, but at the very least, they've found a good heavy tag onto device. Hampus will have heard that smoke being deployed, knows exactly what it means, and now Hampus has found one on the smoke. Can't finish him off. Dreamer instead, actually, Bubble and Harn do return with a lot of damage. They're able to find too early into things. And Hampus is hoping to catch off Victor. Great kill to find, and as he's peeking forward, Bubble will respond. So Fiend will at least be able to find one round on their CT side, unless Device and Plopsky got something to say about it.
Oh, just spots the shoulder. That's enough for Plopsky to commit to the swing. Steps being made outside as well, so they know that both players are in these positions. Outside being traversed by Device, Plopsky still just keeping them busy over at A. They have separated here on NIP, and that's another big kill to find.
That's massive, and Plopsky might not be expecting the player to come in from behind. Device, however, will be relayed that information as he is going straight back over to Heaven. If he can find Harn,
long way to wrap
1v1 becomes a lot more easy, and he knows he needs to go back to T-spawn. Harn peeks out. Device gets that every day of the week. 30 seconds on the clock, and he needs to make his way back over very, very quickly. Dreamer's been given the call as well, and now he's reloaded. Device knows what's going on here. 20 seconds. Device just needs to peek out, but he's not going to be able to locate anyone. Knows he's in it for the kill now. Bomb's going to be recovered. Device, that might be a mistake, but we still have to wait and see. Knows he has to get the kill. Maybe if he goes through Hut, not quite, but even then it'll take too long, and Dreamer's just trying to stay alive. Device simply didn't have time to return for the bomb.
Yeah, just makes that choice instead because, of course, Dreamer having access to that doorway and potentially the vents as well could have ran his way over towards the B bomb site instead. I say run, but, sneak his way down. And Device didn't want to spend all that time hunting, but it's a lost round regardless, going back for that bomb. So, by the skin of their teeth, I mean, quite literally, Dreamer is low HP. They win by time. They can't get rid of Device's ult. Fiend are still holding on, but barely.
And that's like a 4v2, Michael.
Yeah. They got themselves in a 5v3 very quickly.
Yeah.
Not for the fact that Plopsky makes things a little bit more interesting than... Could have been honestly a convincing round there for Fiend. They met the early aggression towards the vents. They didn't fall victim to the boost. A lot of positives, but then when you lose track of the ninjas, well, they are going to sneak up on you.
Yeah, it's kind of their branding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go figure, huh? Makes sense actually, huh? Yeah. Shit, probably should have thought about that one. Even so. I love that little animation on top. I don't know if you noticed it or not. When Fiend's timeout runs out, it sort of looks like it's sliding back over to NIP for the match point thing because of how it's timed. It looks quite nice. Quite like that. Fiend, however, they are very well aware of the match point, regardless of whether they have this HUD or not. Grenade deep in is going to tag out Device a little bit. He doesn't actually foray too far forward, so will not be suffering too greatly off of it. Red Star, though, opt in play. Device peeked into him, but even so, Red Star's scout, rather, comes out on top.
Nice and easy one, just walking into the scope, so... Yeah. Knows that there's an upgrade outside. Plopsky will at least hold it. Wonder if Red Star tries to get greedy about this, especially if NIP are going to show this presence over towards ramp. Dangerous Waters are trying to retrieve that ult, but you can see that they're thinking about it.
Hampus in the meanwhile is watching out for the double push. Way too, and Victor's going to be caught up. But Victor gets a dual win. What? Bubbles even going through for another. And sure, Rez is good for a trade. Plopsky does make things more competitive. Rez has to find this play in Tetris, but instead to drop down events, and it's a trap, and he doesn't care. Fiend are missing out crucial shots after winning crucial duels. You saw what Victor did and you had some hope, but now, with the bomb being planted, with Plopsky being full HP, and a grenade that's going to do absolutely nothing, it gets a whole lot harder.
Oh, spotted jumping up, but Plopsky hits the shot! Victor's 12 HP! Dreamer had to be at least another element, something unknown for NIP to account for, but with Rez getting away with absolute murder, it calls into Victor. Has to come up clutch.
Man down doesn't matter, but when it's Fiend, yeah, doesn't work out too well. 16-4, NIP don't just win, they crush